Welcome to Martha Runs the World, a podcast with a new take on running, fitness, and all things health-oriented. I'm Martha Hughes, your host, and each week I present a new topic that is of interest to all runners. Hi, and welcome to episode 331 of Martha Runs the World. Thank you so much for joining me this week. I'm going to talk all about my weekend, my long weekend that I just got back from yesterday. Yes, I'm recording this a little late this week, but it is what it is. I hope you had a great weekend. I certainly did. I did a race up in Napa County Saturday, and boy, was it hard. Like I said, I'm going to tell you all about it. I took Friday off work. I went to the airport to pick up my rental car. I always pick up rental cars at the airport. I don't own a car, FYI. I live in downtown San Francisco, and it would be very silly for me to own a car living around here. I will own a car in a couple of years when I move, but right now I don't. So I went down to the airport, picked up my rental car Friday morning, and took off. And I had all day Friday, so I figured I'd go out to Point Reyes National Seashore, which I hadn't been to for years. I think I was thinking about it, and it's been like 30 years or more since I've been out there, even longer. I just never get out there. No, maybe more like 25 years. But anyway, so I went out, took a drive out there, and it wasn't the best weather. It was kind of cold and windy. It was very windy, and it was not very warm. It was kind of chilly. But I got a nice drive. I enjoyed the drive out there. It wasn't too bad once I got out of near the bridge and everything like that. The traffic wasn't so bad. But I realized that I forgot a few things when I was packing. I kind of packed last minute the night before because I figured, it's just 3 days. I don't need that much. But I forgot a few things this weekend. One of the things was really important for my race that I forgot. But I did my race anyway. I forgot sunglasses. Yeah, I really need those for driving. So I had to stop in Mill Valley to buy some. And then I also forgot dental floss. I can't believe I forgot dental floss. So I again had to buy those later. I stopped by Safeway, got some things for lunch, and then I went out to Point Reyes. And it's such a beautiful area. I want to go out there sometime and do some hiking and do some trail running when I have my vehicle, and I will. It's just such an amazingly beautiful area. I went to the street that's lined with the cypress trees that everybody takes a picture at, and of course I took a picture there. And then I went out to the North Beach where you can see where you're supposed to be able to see the beach for miles and miles. But today, it was not the greatest weather. There was a lot of mist and I don't know if it's fog, but it was like leftover fog, so you couldn't really see too far. It was still pretty, and it was very, very windy, so you really didn't have the best view, but it was still nice. And then I went to the lighthouse. Now, the lighthouse at Point Reyes has over 300 stairs. Why I choose to do this the day before my race, I don't know, but I did. I didn't realize that it would be so difficult, but I went down to the lighthouse, and it was really cool. It just took me a little bit of time to get back up the stairs. Now, the thing with stairs is that you can be in great shape, and stairs can knock the wind out of me. I don't know what it is about stairs. I can go up a hill and be okay, but stairs, I'm just huffing and puffing. And my heart rate wasn't bad. I was just out of breath. So I took my time and I got back up the stairs and I went back to the car and I said, okay, that's enough. And I don't think I brought enough water with me because that workout was tough. And on the way out of Point Reyes, my right quad started cramping. So I was definitely dehydrated. It was very strange. I haven't had that happen for a long time since I did a 50K years ago up at Mount Shasta had I had my quad cramp, and I was really dehydrated for that race. But, yeah, so that was kinda tough, but it was neat. I'm glad I did go down to see the lighthouse because it's really cool, and if you wanna see it, just beware, wear the right shoes and everything like that, and just beware that there's more than 300 steps. It is worth your while to go out there, especially if it's a nice day. It's just a neat, neat place. And Point Reyes is a great place if you wanna go hiking, trail running. If you wanna backpack, there's a couple places that you can, camp at. You do have to make reservations ahead of time. It's one of the few places to backpack that you have to make those reservations at the campsites themselves ahead of time, so you have to do that online. But it's a really nice area that's not far away from the city. And it's just a cool spot. We used to go out to my friends and I used to go out to Drake's Beach and hang out. I did not go there this weekend because the weather just wasn't nice enough, so I skipped it. But it's a nice place if you wanna go hang out on the beach. Alright, so that was Friday, and then I made it to my hotel, and I am poor, and I cannot afford to stay in Napa, so I stayed in Fairfield, which is not far from Napa. It's like a 20-minute drive. I stayed there, and I stayed in a decent hotel in a Best Western. However, it was a very nice hotel. The staff was amazing. It was nice and clean. It was centrally located. It was nice and quiet. However, the mattress was so soft, it hurt my back, my upper back. Oh, I just hate soft mattresses. I wish they would get like medium mattresses. I like firm mattress, but I can do with medium. That's fine. But those soft ones, and I can just tell as soon as I get on it, it's like, oh, I'm going to have a hard time tonight. Those soft, anyway. Other than that, it was fine. And a weird thing happened on Saturday night that I will talk about. But it was fine, except for the mattress. But anyway, I managed to get to sleep. I bought some stuff to eat, some neutral stuff that wouldn't bother me during my race, and I ate that for dinner, and I went to sleep. And then, I think I got a wrap from Safeway for dinner, so that was fine. And I got dental floss, which I needed. So, okay, that was cool. So I woke up at 5, and I had some coffee, and I had some breakfast that I had gotten from Safeway as well. And then I woke up and I had hotel coffee, which was awful, but it wasn't it served its purpose. It served its purpose. So I went to my race. I was going to do the half, and that started at 8. But as soon as I got on the course, and this was at the race is at the Skyline Wilderness Park, is the name of the county park that's there. So the race is the Napa Wilderness Race. Past guest Todd Glyden puts it on, and I volunteered the first year that he had it, and I wasn't able to go last year. It's a hard race. I completely underestimated how difficult this race would be. So I thought I'd do the half. I thought that would be fine since I did the 18-miler a couple of weeks ago in the Headlands. I thought I was prepared. Well, I was wrong. It's a beautiful park. There are lots and lots of hills, lots of very rocky trails, lots of hills. And guess what? I forgot to bring my trekking poles. Yeah, I forgot them. I was very frustrated with myself because I really, really needed them for this race. There was one hill. Okay, the first part before I get into it, sorry, I'm bouncing around because I didn't make any notes, so please forgive me. The first part of the half, you go out and back to the Napa Highway, and that's about 3 miles. And then you get back to the course, and the hardest part of the course, you go straight up the mountain, straight up, and it's really steep. So I had to go really, really slow because it was very, very steep and very scary without the poles. And it wiped me out. And Todd had said if you get to the lake portion, the Lake Marie aid station, you decide to drop down to the 10K, you can get a 10K finish, and that's fine. Well, I decided to do that because there was no way that I was going to be able to finish the half, and I knew I could probably finish it, but I would be so wiped out, it would just destroy me. So I decided, why do that? Just finish in the 10K and have a good day and just enjoy the rest of your day. So I did that. And I was at the Lake Marie aid station, and I ran into Tony and Blair. So that was really cool. It was like, whoa, what are you doing here? Okay. And we all talked and chatted and everything. And then I finished my 10K race, and and then from Lake Marie to the start of and finish of the race is like 2 miles. So I still had 2 miles that I hiked out, and like I said, it's a beautiful little park, and the race is great. If you want a challenging race that's not far from the Bay Area that you can get to and then enjoy the Napa wine country afterwards, this race is really, really good. Now, don't underestimate it like I did. It's really, really hard. You can make it a nice, easy day. Well, it's not easy because none of the races are easy. The 10K is really hard. But if you want a nice, hard, and challenging 10K, or if you want to go farther, he even had a 40-mile race. If you want to make it the hardest race you've ever done, or you want to do a hard 10K or a half, and then have the rest of the time in wine country, you can do it. It's a really cool race. It was warm too. It turned out it was a chilly morning, but it turned into a warm day. It was in the low 70s, and I did enjoy it. It's a beautiful area, and I loved the trails. They were a lot harder than I thought they would be, a lot more rocky than I thought they would be. So I really wasn't going fast at all. And of course, at the start of the race, everyone took off but me. Yeah, that's how it is. I'm always the last person in the back to start slow. I am. That's how it is. And I'm going to do an episode on you don't have to ever race if you don't want to. And we're going to talk all about racing and some of the cons of racing. We know the pros, how fun racing is and how socializing it is and all that. But we're also going to talk about why, if you don't want to race, you never really have to race. So we'll talk about that in another episode. But it was nice. It was nice seeing Todd. I did not see my friend Michael. He was at an aid station he was directing traffic, I think, way far away on part of the course that I didn't get to see because I didn't do the half. So I didn't get to see him this time around. But hopefully I'll see him at another race soon or in the Bay Area or something. We'll see each other. I mean, I've got things going on, and I have some stuff I have to get going, and I'll talk about that in this episode as well. Anyway, so that was my race, and then afterwards I had a LaCroix or LaCroix, if you say it right. I had that afterwards, and I just chilled a little bit, and then I stopped by the store. I stopped by the Safeway again, got some stuff for dinner, and went back to the hotel to relax. Now, I'm watching the hockey game. I'm watching, what game was on that? That was the Dallas Jets game, right? So I'm watching the hockey game, and all of a sudden, all the power goes out in the hotel. Now, I've never had that happen in a hotel before. Now, it's May. I can understand happening, a big storm, electrical storm and everything, but that wasn't how it is. Now, there were high winds, so that might have knocked out something. And the power went out for like a half an hour. So, okay, I watched the game on my phone for a little bit, and then the power came back on. So that was okay. So it was only for like a half an hour. It was kind of freaky though. And it was still light outside, so that was okay. And I was thinking, what would happen if the power stays out and it's dark? Well, I have a flashlight, but I'm not going to sit in the room with the flashlight and my phone's slowly losing its battery. It's like, no, I got to figure out what to do if this doesn't solve itself. But it did. And fortunately, everything was okay. But I've never had that happen before. That was really, really strange. Okay. Now, I had missed breakfast the day before because on weekends, they only start serving breakfast at 7 a.m. Well, I had their quote-unquote breakfast the next day. And as much as I liked the staff and the crew at Best Western, they were very nice. Their breakfast was not anything to write home about. So the eggs were cold, potatoes were cold, And the bacon, I don't know where they got the bacon. It was the strangest bacon I'd ever tasted. It was very weird. So I just grabbed a pastry roll and a cup of coffee, and I took that back to my room. And that was that. And I said, okay, that's fine. On the way out, I stopped at Starbucks and got a chai latte, which I love. I love the chai lattes. So I got that. And I said, okay, this morning I'm going to go to see a regional park that I've never been to before. So I went to the Black Diamond Mines Regional Park, I think it's called. I'd never been there before. It's this really cool park, lots of trails, and it's based on the area was, for a while, over 100 years ago, a coal mining area. And there used to be a few hundred people who lived there mining coal. So they have preserved that part of the history and turned it into a park. Now there's a cemetery, and the cemetery is way up on the hill. I did not feel like doing any hiking today. I didn't go on any of the trails. I just stayed on the fire road and just looked at some of the stuff in the general vicinity. Now, I will go back again when I have a car, and I will put on my trail running shoes and go scope out some of the areas farther away from the fire roads. But I didn't do that Sunday. I just was not up for doing any hiking, on any strenuous hiking. I just really wasn't up for that. So, but I was able to see some things. And unfortunately, there is a mine that they do open to the public, but they didn't have that open yesterday. But I was able to see a lot of stuff, and it was really, really a neat area. It's a neat place if you want to have a picnic. They have lots of picnic tables, and the weather was fairly warm. It was a lot warmer yesterday and a lot less wind. It's a beautiful little area, and it's $5 to get in. It's well worth it. It's right into the hills there. It's a little northeast of Mount Diablo. I decided to go there instead of Mount Diablo because I've been to Mount Diablo many times and I'd never been to this park. So that's where I went. It was really, really neat. So I did that. And so after that, then I went to get some lunch at In-N-Out. I have to get my In-N-Out burger. I always get that when I'm on my trip, at least after my race. And then I went home. I went back to the airport and dropped off the car, and then I went home on BART. And it was a really nice weekend. It was a quick weekend. It was only 3 days, and I had a good time. It was very, very cool. It was nice to get away from the Bay Area. Oh, now Napa is away from the Bay Area. Fairfield is a little bit away from the Bay Area. It was nice to get away from home just for a couple days. It was just nice to see some countryside and to have some peace and quiet. And that was really cool. And of course, on the trails, when I'm going, I don't see anybody because I'm the last. So I rarely saw anybody. What I did like about this race is that it was so well marked that only once did I have a question whether I was lost or not. And as soon as I started questioning if I was lost or not, I saw a ribbon of the color, which was yellow, and I was fine. Oh, there I am. Okay. It wasn't like past races that I've had in a couple companies, trail racing companies, that I have to go a long ways till I see a ribbon of my color. And it's like, oh, thank gosh. I have never gotten lost on a trail race before. In races, I'm fine. My own runs, I've gotten lost, but never in a trail race. That, thankfully, I'm going to knock on wood here, so that has not happened. So it was pretty cool. It was nice. It's well run. Like I said, it's well marked. The aid stations are really nice. They provide lots of goodies and lots of neat stuff. So it's just a really, really cool experience if you want to do it. It's like I said, it's well worth your time. Okay, so that was this weekend. I have decided, and I will talk more about this in the future, but I've decided that my race at the Cool Moon 50 in June at Cool, California, which is in between Placerville and Auburn, if you are interested, will be my last race for probably a couple years. And I think it's going to be my last race for a couple of years. I might do a one or two smaller races, but I'm not going to rent a car and go out of town for a race. I cannot afford it. I have to save money for my retirement. And saving money for retirement does not include renting cars, staying in hotels, and that kind of thing. This gets expensive. This weekend was fun. It was very fun, but it's also expensive. Renting a car is extremely expensive. And hotels, of course, are also. It's fun. It's very fun. And my trip in June is going to be very expensive because I'm taking like 3 extra days and going to Tahoe. But it's my big trip for the next 2 years. And then it's done. And then like all next year, I'm not going to be taking any trips. I will take a couple staycations. I'm going to stay at home, but I'm going to take the time off and enjoy it. But I'm not going out of town. What I will be doing instead of these big races is that I will be setting up my own little private journeys. I don't know what to call them. They're not really races, but my own events where I will be running from somewhere home or from home to somewhere. One of the races that I want to do is I want to take like the bus up to like the Golden Gate Transit bus up to San Rafael and then run and walk home. And I think that's like, I don't think it's 30 miles, but it's like 28 miles. So it'll be close to 30 miles. I want to do that. Another one I want to do is to go from home or from, maybe not home, but to go from like Crissy Field and go over the bridge and then go through the headlands and go and wind it up in Mill Valley through the Dipsy Trail up that way. So I might do that as well. That would be a nice trip. And I'm not sure how long that would be. I could make it a 50K if I go out on a few trails first up at the top and then go down the Dipsy. If I just go straight, it's not going to be 50K, but I could make it a 50K if I want. Those kind of things I'm thinking of. I could take the train down the peninsula and then get off somewhere that is a 50K distance and come up that way. I'm thinking of certain things like that. Or I could like go down past Lake Merced and go down into Daly City and come back that way. Things like that. I also have a 50K, I also want to do a 50K distance around San Francisco where I can actually finish it because I didn't finish the Hunter S. Thompson race last year, and I'm not going to do that one again. I'm just going to do it on my own. So those kind of things are what I'm looking at in the next couple years. Without a race, I could also focus on getting my diet in order, losing weight, not having the pressure of a race in front of me. Because I never lose weight with the pressure of a race. I just don't. I'm too busy training, too busy thinking of things. And it just gets too much to try to lose weight. So I need to save money. I want to lose some weight. I want to save money for retirement. And I've got that ahead of me. It's kind of stressing me out. And it's messing with my sleep. So I think and I am going to do this race. I'm going to try my darndest to finish this 50-mile race. And once I finish this, then it's a new thing, and then I'll figure that out. And running will be a part of that for sure. But I can run without a race. I can run with my own personal goals. And we'll talk about that, or I will talk about that, and we'll think about all these things together. All right? So that is my show, and the website is martharunsaworld.com, and I will include a link to the Napa Wilderness Race, and so you can do it next year, because you really should do it. If you want a challenge, and if you want a beautiful place to run, this is it. This is really it. Todd does a great job, and he says he's going to have a couple more distances next year, so why not? Why not do it? All right, so that's the website, martharunsaworld.com. My email is martharunsaworld@gmail.com. And until next week, let's tie up our shoelaces and go for a run.